Welcome to English Simplified. Friends, in the previous lecture we talked about the meaning of a noun, where we said that a noun represents a person, a place, or a thing. Alright, so if I say that I'm looking at the word boy, the boy of course represents a person and would be an example of a common noun. Alright, likewise if I say I'm using the word girl, this is also representing a person and is an example of a common noun here. Right? This section of our discussion talks about genders in noun. Okay? So when I'm looking at that precisely, I would like to put forth the idea of the genders in noun as of four types. One is masculine, representing a male gender. Feminine, representing of course a female gender. Okay, and then we have something like a neuter gender, which has, there is no gender to that. And then we have of course a common gender. Okay, so when I look at these four categories, so as the name goes, it would represent either male or female. Alright, so when I look into a male gender, example of that would be, as we said before, a boy, a man, maybe a lion, maybe a king. Okay, if you look at a female gender, there would be a girl as an example, a woman, lioness, or a queen. All right, when I look at the neuter gender, we are normally referring to things without life. Okay, so if I say a pen, if I say a camera, or maybe a watch, okay, a tree, these would be examples of neuter gender. And then when we look at, let's say, common gender, they would apply to either a male or a female. Okay, so if I say child, right, it could be a girl child, it could be a boy child, so both may be referred to as a child. Parent, It could be a father, it could be a mother. Now the fact remains, father would come under the masculine, mother would come under the feminine, but parent would come under the common gender. Okay? So if I say thief, right? It represents again a common noun, and this is a common gender as well. Okay? A lot of relations you would find. Cousin, for example. Okay? So there is no gender to that. Friend, relative. These could be the examples of common noun here. Okay? Now, when you look at a neuter gender, there could be examples where we have things that are personified, as if they are spoken about as if they represent a person, either a masculine male or a feminine or a female. All right? So when I say I'm looking at a personification of things, there may be examples of masculine and feminine beings also. Okay? So if I say, for example, the sun, all right, it could be an example of a neuter gender, but still it is being personified as if we are talking about a male thing, right? As against that, if I look at the moon, which is more of a reflection of beauty, something that people adore, would be an example of, let's say, a feminine gender. Okay? Right? So for example, earth, right? We normally say it's Mother Earth. So that's how you start representing. Now earth in itself has no gender, but it would still be personified as of feminine gender. All right? So when you look at these kind of examples, you would want to, let's say, use them and then explain about them with some masculine or feminine words respectively. So if I say that if I say, for example, the sun shines his brightest today. So when you look at this, the sun, although it's not a living being, you're still using it as a masculine gender, and we are representing it by the word his. Okay, so his is of course a masculine word, right? And then I say the earth takes care of her resources, right? Nature takes care of her resources. The earth takes care of resources. So her is a representation of the feminine part of it. Okay? Yeah. So this is something about the noun gender here. Essentially, what we would like to also do is refer to how to change the gender of nouns. Okay, say for example, there could be a masculine noun for which we need to identify a feminine noun. All right, now the way it works is, and that is where there is no set rule for each and every word. There could be examples like making use of a different word altogether. As I say, against a boy, I'm using the word girl, right? So boy is an example of a masculine gender and girl is an example of a feminine gender. If I say father, the answer to that would be mother. If I say brother, the answer to that is sister. Okay? If I say king, of course the answer to that is queen, and likewise we would have used different words to find the other gender of that noun. Right? There could be many such examples that you come across, and accordingly you are able to, let's say, find the answers to that. Right? Another way in which, so let's use this space now. Another way in which the feminine noun can be identified. That is where some words would follow a particular rule here. Okay, so we may, for example, add a syllable. Okay, adding a syllable means you are looking at, of course, some word ending to that. So if I say, for example, ESS. Okay, so the easier part of would be prince would have a feminine noun as princess. Okay, if I say tiger, I have tigress to that. All right, if I say lion, lioness becomes the feminine gender or feminine noun to that. Okay, if I say waiter, it would be waitress now. All right, something that you need to make yourself comfortable with is that here there is the letter E, which is just before the final letter, and that is replaced, right? For example, in case of a tiger, E is removed and it's placed, the ESS is placed after R. Likewise, in case of a waiter, E is removed and waitress becomes, of course, the feminine gender for that. Poet, Poetess is the answer to that. Okay, so the way we are able to, let's say, make this feminine gender available is by adding syllable to that. Okay, right? It could be also an example where we add other syllables. Maybe we are having against the word hero, we have heroine. Okay, however, if I were to use the word actor, then I need to understand the feminine word would be actress. Okay, right? And then we are saying the another way in which we can identify, let's say, the other noun or the other gender for this is by adding a word before or after that. So if I say, for example, I'm talking about a salesman, I call it saleswoman. Okay, if I call it milkman, that shall be milkwoman. Okay, so likewise we can create more such examples. So an easy one again. So grandfather shall have the answer as grandmother here. All right, so what you need to get more comfortable with the nouns in terms of gender is that, remember, there could be a masculine gender, a feminine gender, a neuter gender, and a common gender. And then we said that how to convert one gender into another, we would have a use of a different word altogether, maybe adding a syllable or maybe adding a word before or after. Looks okay? So a small, easy, comfortable exercise that we have done in this particular lecture for all of us, right? So do keep watching our channel, that is English Simplified, and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Have a good day and take care. Bye.